This is the DMV Vibes podcast, and I'm Fearless Swagger.
And I am Miss Pink.
Put your hands up. DC, put your hands up. New York, put your hands up. Down south, put your hands up. LA, put your hands up. Go, taking over.
We were gone for a long time. You know, a lot of the viewers know why you were gone. And eventually we're going to get you to talk about your journey. But a lot of the supporters did reach out and show a lot of love and gratitude and send prayers. And prayers to Fearless Swagger, and she is still taking it day by day.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. Still taking it day by day. Started therapy 2 weeks ago. I said in our previous episode. Love you. But I was gonna start therapy, so I just started 2 weeks ago. I'm enjoying it. I'm super excited. I feel like I took a hole in that lady's head, but that's what she's there for. But I really do appreciate everybody who sent their condolences, their prayers, their support. I can't thank y'all enough, and I ask that y'all continue to keep me lifted because I miss my mama. That was my girl. So thank you. I can't thank y'all enough.
Sorry, y'all. We both had to take a drink. It's a big day trying to wind down.
Okay, thank you.
This show, if I could put a title to it, I'm just gonna, as much as I have stated that we're not going to discuss politics and religion, we're going to discuss politics because it involves our future. Not just our future, but children, generations to come. Everybody at every age is going to be affected.
And even your color, yes. The whites.
Everybody.
You too.
So I'm just going to say why you should vote. That's what we're not even going to go into detail about who you should vote for. We're just going to give you reasons for why you should vote. The biggest thing is being registered to vote. There are different laws for different states. I'm only going to touch on the local ones. Specifically for DC, you can, if you're doing it in person, you can vote up until the day of. You can register until election day. If you're doing it in person, if you register by mail, the deadline, or online, the deadline is 21 days before election day. If you don't know when election day is, I'm going to just tell you, every phone has a calendar that will tell you we don't want them doing no shenanigans and not counting your vote, or you get there and they say you cannot vote. I'm sorry for DC, Maryland, Virginia, so you can look it up on. It'll also be posted because I am going to make sure that it is tagged to every streaming platform, the website. For DC, it's going to be vote.gov. For Maryland, it's going to be maryland.gov. And for Virginia, it is vote.elections.virginia.gov. And I don't know why VA had to do all of that.
Because it's the Commonwealth.
Extra long for no reason. But every website is going to give you the requirements to be able to register to vote. Some states vary. You can register to vote at 16, even though you cannot vote until you're 18. So I want people to know that. DC and Maryland, the age is 16. For Virginia, it's 17. But again, you cannot vote until you are 18. And remember, they have changed the laws. Most people who are convicted felons can now vote.
I know in Virginia, right? Definitely for sure.
Yes, absolutely in Virginia. In fact, I have it up. This is for the state of Maryland, effective March 10th, 2016. If you have been convicted of a felony, you are eligible to register to vote once you have completed the court-ordered sentence of imprisonment. That means if you're out and you're free, please go vote. Register to vote.
Please register.
Yeah, as long and the only way you can get banned, I don't know, nigga, that is convicted of buying or selling votes.
Now we do know some people in the other states that don't look like us, but that we got in trouble. It was somebody in Pennsylvania, I believe, who voted. Somebody died, and they casted the vote for them, but they was dead, and they got in trouble.
So even though we are two childless individuals, we're still going to stress how important it is for all the people who do currently have children to vote, how it will affect each and every age bracket. If you haven't looked at Project 2025, please, I don't care if you Google it, TikTok it, Instagram, pull it up somewhere and read through it. I'm going to go through some of the things that are on there, and we're going to talk about why it should be important. Medicare, they're trying to get private, and basically to eliminate anybody who is receiving Medicare through the state is going to be a little bit harder.
And that affects kids a whole lot, especially as an educator, as someone who works in special education, and a lot of our children receive Medicare, Medicaid from the state, whatever, with having their IEP. So it's very important that y'all gonna vote that. Then on top, vote. And then on top, we have older, we got parents, aunties, grandmas. That's how a lot of them, even though I'm gonna tell y'all Medicare actually sucks, but they still are able to access medical care. Privatizing a lot of things, especially, it started with the prisons. Y'all better go do some research on how the privatization of things work. Mm-hmm. It's not doing anything but pat in their pocket. So that's really what it is. Don't get me started on this economy.
One of the other things is he wants to repeal, and I'm just going to say he wants to repeal the current president's Medicare drug price negotiation program. So if none of y'all have had to buy any type of medication, and I'm not talking about over the counter, I'm talking about your doctor prescribed it to you, and you had to go to CVS and tell them, I need this, and you didn't have no insurance. You'll never know that some of these medications cost hundreds of dollars.
As someone who had two older parents and my mother who was sickly, we went through that. Like, some of her medications was $115. And those were things that my mother or my father had to pay out of pocket, or like I may have had to help because they didn't have enough. You know what I'm saying? So everyday prescriptions that really don't cost that much to make, they're making it more expensive. Even with insulin, because Biden put a cap on how much insulin is supposed to cost. But the opposing party wants to take that away. So you literally will have people with diabetes, which is something that you can live with, that will die because they don't have access to their medication. And that's one of the biggest reasons why he did put the cap on the insulin, because you had people who were dying because they couldn't spend $400 on their insulin. And that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Threaten Medicaid coverage for hundreds and thousands of Americans. So we kind of grouped that already together. Medicaid is just like another supplemental. Medicare you can have on its own, or it can be supplemental. Medicaid is generally offered through the state. As a former caseworker for Anne Arundel County. I can tell you, it's a lot of people. Some of y'all got friends and y'all don't even know that some of y'all friends receive Medicaid. So again, the importance of certain things, because healthcare, unfortunately, we live in a country where healthcare is ridiculously high. Mm-hmm. Whether you're working or unemployed, healthcare is high as hell for no reason.
That's why I go to all of my annuals. I pay all this money a month. I'm seeing every doctor that I'm supposed to see.
At this point, I just really feel like if I come, it's not a black job, but if I come to my job every day and y'all take it out of my check every 2 weeks, if I'm not sick, give me some of that money back. Give me some of the money back.
But the crazy part is, it's our age group does not use
not all these benefits,
right? With our age group, typically those who actually really take care of ourselves, like we're healthy. I truly only go to the doctor for my annuals and when I'm like sick, but other than that, we don't use it that much. So y'all know our annuals is once a year. So that shows you how many times I go to the doctor. I don't need to see nobody. But you can just see like it's our parents and like the older people and those that have severe health issues, like they're using it more. But at the same time, it's like if I'm paying $200 or mine is $100 every pay period. Like why am I paying almost $400 a month in healthcare? Now, mind you, this is pre-tax money, so it is. So our healthcare is pre-tax, but it's like why?
I have an HRA account, a health reimbursement arrangement. So I put money into it pre-tax because it is a write-off or whatever. But I realized that I'm always like I try to use this money up because it does cover things like one of the benefits that I only really like is because I can order eligible medical items. Mm-hmm. That includes, if you're a female, it includes feminine products. It's a whole list of stuff that you can use it for. So I definitely use that because the company also matches what I input. And it carries a certain amount carries over to the next year. They want to stop and continue to block. The Biden administration, of course, is trying to do the student debt relief efforts, and they're still trying to stop that. Now, while they are still going through, and a lot of people have already received relief, there are a lot of stipulations on it currently because Congress is still fighting it.
Yes, I've had enough. They forgave part of mine. Forgive the rest. Thank you.
And so they will completely stop. I just want y'all to know, if we don't get out and vote and y'all let the orange person get back up in there, yeah, y'all can go ahead and forget that. When your kids go, y'all can be paying them bills.
So I want y'all to understand this. Because I know you got those statistic people out there. Black women are the number one most educated group in this entire country. But guess who's also number one in student loan debt? Mm-hmm. We are Black women. We are number one in entrepreneurship. So we make money and we are very well educated. But them student loans, here's the thing, and I'm going to use me for example. My credit score is amazing. Amazing. Shout out to me. Them student loans, being forgiven, like the rest of them, would boost me up. And I'm talking about my FICO score. Now, you know, it goes deeper into that. But I would literally probably go straight to an 800 or bucks just because of that. But this is why there's so much pushback on forgiving these loans, because it's affecting Black women more than it is anybody else. And I'm so sick of people talking about, well, I grab myself up by the straps. I will also.
I had 10 10 million hands out there.
You did, and then y'all know at one point in time, people could file for bankruptcy and put their student loans in it.
It was at one point.
At one point.
Included. I'll tell you right now, you can't do it.
Now, once started doing it, then they changed the rules. So if you look at this project 2025, like it's so much systematic, deep-rooted mess in here. Like, y'all really gotta vote, man. You really have to take this seriously. And it's so sad because you have those uneducated people who, because they know that a certain demographic of people will be oppressed, or what's the word I'm looking for?
We are never going to get reparations.
Right. So because they know that at the end of the day, y'all, a certain demographic of people, they're okay with suffering along with the minority because they don't agree that the minority should be a part of the majority.
But I want y'all to really, and this is going a little off topic, but there are a lot of other races that have gotten reparations for things that have happened in history. So do y'all research. Tell you. Y'all know how much I hate history, but TikTok was my best friend learning a lot of history because it's a quick version, and one of the other things. I also wanted to mention about filing bankruptcy. It is nothing wrong with filing bankruptcy
at all.
I just want y'all to know that it doesn't matter what color you are. We see white people do it, we be kiki and ha, and guess what? While it will affect your credit and your FICO score momentarily, it will then begin to go back up. Mm-hmm. It's like hitting restart. But I want y'all to know again, it don't got nothing to do with them. They're not taking them student loans. Trust me, if they did, I would have been Diddy because that's where all the debt is.
Okay, that part.
Yeah, I really wish.
Car almost paid off.
So the next one has to do with he wants to withdraw the UN. I don't know, UN is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Climate Agreement. So if y'all didn't watch the debate, they kind of touched on a little bit when President Biden said he really wants to say you ain't do shit for climate change, but he couldn't cuss like that on TV. He said he didn't do nothing.
I know that
for climate change.
I know he did. He looked like a cusser.
Absolutely. He cussed right through this stutter. I know he does. I know he does. It's in there. And Joe, it's okay. I just wanted to let it out one time. One time for the one time.
Okay. Because we heard Obama cuss, so we know you cuss.
Man. Climate change, why it's important. As much as y'all be complaining about how hot it's been this summer.
This is why climate change.
Yeah. So again, this is why it's important about what's important to you, what's important for you, and what candidates are actively working on. I want y'all to understand that I'm not really a fan of politics at all. And I know that people be getting up there on the stage and they be lying about what they're going to do. But I want you to understand this is what they want to do, but it's not in their control. Congress be blocking a lot of stuff.
So this is why, again, let me say this, because I like this. I used to work the election. And a lot of people, yes, kind of like what we did with President Obama. We came out, black man, boom, in there, put him in office. But people did not vote in the midterm elections, okay? So if y'all ever take a look at how Clinton, president, more, but now as y'all see, like a lot of the candidates, like it's more diversity. So even though you got some people that's including, but you still have to give the support. So you have to vote in those midterm elections. You have to vote for those senators and those congressmen, because those are the people that are going to help us want the president to do. Okay, so those of you that didn't take civics and stuff like that, please understand that the president does not have 100% of the power. That's why we have checks and balances. That's why we have a Congress. If you look this up, America's government is pretty much modeled after the parliament in Europe because that's who took over the country, but they still have their different. Actually, has 400 some people, and it has everyday citizens like me and Pink. But I said all that to say is you have to give your presidential candidate the help. So you have to vote in these midterm elections, which happens every 2 years. Like we just voted for congressmen. What did we just vote for? Congress and senators, I think. Yeah. So you have. It's really, really important to vote in those elections too. So vote.
I ain't gonna lie, I was guilty. I was definitely one of the people who was not voting in what we would consider the minor elections.
I vote in
it's very important because it's people who are older than our parents and grandparents still up there sitting and have a seat in Congress, and they're not even in tune with what the fuck is going on or where they represent.
If you can tell somebody that they're too old to work an everyday 9 to 5, they're too old to run an entire country.
And note, some of the people that are saying that Biden should not be president, they're only a couple years shy of that age with their seat. So I just want y'all to take that into consideration. That yes, we have an 80-year-old running our country, and then there are 70-year-olds in seats that should no longer be. Like, y'all don't want to. I guess their job, technically, how they feel is it's not really work for them because they only work like 4 days a week. They take extremely long breaks, and all they do is sit in the room, listen, and vote.
Yeah.
It's easy work. It's easy money. They'll probably work it till they die. Hey, what's that man that looked? I swear, last year.
Mitch McConnell.
Yes,
who looks like a turtle.
He did. He looked like a turtle with a deer getting caught in the headlights. Every time they put the camera on him, it was just like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
you don't want to. I know you got grandkids somewhere. Go enjoy them.
When we think about some of the people we know, aunties, grandmas, great grandmas at 80, like my grandma was forgetting stuff. And my godmother was driving up until she was 90 something, but they had to take her off the road because her driver was carrying people. So it's just like when we think about this on a day-to-day basis, like think about this in terms of this country. So that's why it's important that we do vote in those midterms, because if we can change how the Congress looks, maybe we can change the representation of this country as far as our president. That's a big stretch because, the world had a conniption when we had a black man as the president for 8 years. Mm-hmm. And they're still blaming him for it.
And I need y'all to understand that the president before put things in place. Like y'all complaining now, and I'm not going to stay where I work at, but I'm just telling y'all, the things that y'all be calling and complaining about is because y'all don't be paying attention when you're, and the reason why you need to vote.
Baby, listen.
Them tax laws
was
not Biden's fault.
My tax returns I ain't seen one since that man got in office and left. So, and the tax law he put in place goes all the way in effect on the middle class, so which is me. Finally move it up with the Jeffersons, but I don't feel it.
Hello?
It goes into like 2025. I think is when it's supposed to go back to normal. So, but everybody that I know, literally, we all are touching more money a year than our parents ever did. But our taxes is crazy. Like, I'm saying, I owe federal and state. I owe federal and state every year since that man left office. I have owed. Every year on Obama, I was getting my tax return. Run me my please.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all a trick. And y'all ain't here for me. If you know my government name, shut up. Don't say it all loud. All I'm going to say is just get you a business You gotta have something legit about your business, though. Don't just go out here and just go make a business. Talk about, I sold this, I sold it. I'm not saying do all the fabrication, but when you have a business with the expenses, it helps you not have to pay so much in taxes. Because I'm telling you, the government do not love at all single childless individuals.
They hate us.
And so while I love all my friends with kids and y'all I have no kid that I got extra money, I don't have no extra money. They take it all.
They take it.
We're going to skip over a couple of these because they do involve the climate. They all fall under the climate change and things that involve the research for that. Because it's like they have like 4 things involving climate change and the greenhouse gas regulation. But we're going to go past that and we're going to jump to, he wants to gut the federal workforce and install loyalists by making tens of thousands of civil servants fireable at Trump's will. That means he will have the power to eliminate certain agencies, eliminate certain jobs. And while everybody thinks that the federal government means that we have safe jobs, we do not. As y'all see, Congress controls us every September, October-ish when they make these budgets and we're on the fiscal year and they got to vote on who's going to be allowed how much money. First of all, who's America in debt to? That's all I want to know.
That's what I want to know because I'm not in debt to nobody but Sally Mae and them.
And all I'm saying is their debt so high and ain't nobody came to repo nothing. But if I don't pay on my student loans, then you're going to attack my wages? It don't make sense to me.
I feel like teachers should not have to pay taxes. And I'm going to tell y'all why.
And I understand.
Because tax dollars essentially pay teachers' salary. So why am I being essentially I'm paying myself, but I'm being taxed on top of the money that I'm already paying myself. So why do I need to pay taxes when my whole salary is y'all tax dollars anyway?
It's the biggest scam ever created.
And if you look up the history of taxes, I'm like a nerd when it comes to history. If you look up the history of taxes, it was only supposed to be a temporary thing. Taxes was not supposed to be something that became a law. It was only supposed to be temporary because I think it was a war. I believe it was around a war. But it was literally only temporary. It was not supposed to be something that we were supposed to be paying for the rest of our lives. We pay state tax, federal tax.
Some people pay local tax or city tax, which is crazy.
You pay taxes on gas. Prime example. Now, y'all know Tarjay is my father. I'm not really doing my girl. Now, I have the Target debit card, right? So you get the 5% back every time you use it. It don't even really help because taxes is 6% in Maryland. So essentially, I might knock off $5 of the taxes, but I'm still paying on like what we doing here? And now we got to pay for bags. Don't get me started on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's the most absurd thing because if we really break it down and think about it. So this is one of the reasons why even though I had a love-hate relationship with Texas. First of all, it was 8% in Texas for their state tax. It was 8%, but they don't take out no state taxes. Ain't no state. You're only taking federal. So essentially, you see more of your money. Now, that does mean your liquor tax is a little bit higher down there. But they function. If we're going to equate it to anything, Texas functions just like Virginia. That means that they're going to tax everything. They're going to tax your property. They're going to tax your car. All those things. And so,
but you don't pay state tax.
Yeah, but you don't.
It balances out.
Right. It balances out because you see more money throughout the year. The biggest thing that I hate, though, is, okay, you tax my check, and they're going to say it's voluntary because you signed the form. No, because I'm still going to have to pay these taxes either way.
Yeah.
So you tax my check, then I got to go to the store and buy my groceries with this already taxed money, and you're going to tax me again. If I buy a property, you're gonna tax me again every year while I have the property. If I buy a car, you're gonna tax me. If I take my car and I move from one state to another to transfer, it's tax on that. It don't make sense that with my already taxed money, I gotta pay more taxes. It'll never make sense. I don't know if anybody can do something about it. If you're listening, please help us. We're drowning.
Okay, I'm tired.
Next thing on the list is allow Trump to deploy the military against American citizens. So we got a preview of that when he was in office.
Baby.
We got a preview. When everybody was protesting, we had previews. And I'm gonna tell you, I had family members who was protesting frontline peacefully, and they were chased. It don't make no sense because, again, those tax dollars that we pay help go towards paying the police officers. And while I understood defund the police, the way DC is running right now,
baby,
they need every police officer on hand.
Okay, because I be at work like this guy. Like they need all the police officers.
Anytime they start advertising on TV for people to be a police officer, knowing it's a lot of Asian
well, they
people
just had
in the
to
world.
fire like a few months ago. They had to fire quite a few because of their background checks, like some of them. So
y'all gonna run out of people because them background checks is not getting passed. The generation, our generation, and behind us, baby, all them scammers.
Baby, let's go. Because like some jobs, you only allowed to have a certain amount of debt. I don't know if MPD is like that, but I know like TSA is like that. Like they run your credit. You gotta have a certain amount of debt. If it's more than that, then they're not gonna hire you because they feel like you will be more tempted to steal.
I'm gonna tell you another trick. If your debt is student loans, that's the majority of where your debt is, and you get temporary forbearance, then apply for that job. That's all I can tell you. Because boy, TSA, I know that's not what they didn't hire me because of that. It was because of something else. But it was a lot of people who did make it through for that, and I was just like, baby, you gotta know the tricks. You gotta know the tricks. He's gonna allow ICE to conduct raids at schools, churches, and hospitals, playgrounds, and other sensitive areas. If you don't know what ICE is the 3-letter agency that deals with immigration. That's the best way, the shortest way for me to describe it. If somebody who had a family member who works for ICE, they were conflicted every day working that job because as someone who tries to escape for poverty and issues in their country and come here, and they are model citizens here, just because they are not documented, they are doing the jobs that a lot of us don't want to do. Keep it 100.
The black jobs. They're taking the black jobs. The ones that Trump said. I don't even know if my job is a black. Is my job a black job?
I don't know. At this point, I don't even know what a black job is.
I don't know well, Biden said it the other night. Vice president. That's a black job.
Well,
50%.
No comment. But essentially, if that is made possible, like it will only inflict more trauma onto. That means if y'all have never seen an ICE agent, 1, they walk around with vests and it does say ICE on it. 2, they have the big guns. We're not talking about no 9mm. They just running down. They're not the police officers. These are federal agents have military style guns that they pull out when they here trying to locate immigrants.
So I want y'all to think about this in a school setting. So the school that I work at is majority Latino, Hispanic. A lot of the kids that we service are what we call newcomers. So we literally have kids that have come in the country the day before and they're in school. So think about children and how that would affect your child. I remember the first election year when Trump, I think this was like 2016 or something. Well, anyway, it was either Trump or Mittens. Anyway, but I feel like it was Trump. And they were talking about it was Trump. And this is when Trump first talked about he was running. And I had a student who was like super, super upset and like we were trying to figure out why. And he literally was like, oh, I'm scared because Trump said he's going to deport all the Latinos. And this is a chat. At this time, I worked at elementary school. So I think he was in like the fourth grade. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I want y'all to think about that because kids are watching, kids are listening, kids are hearing these things. Mm-hmm. And these kids, they know that their parents are undocumented. A lot of them know that. And so think about the trauma. And this particular child his father was already locked up getting ready to be deported anyway because he was over in the country illegally. Now, granted, he's a whole adult thing. But I want you to just think about like the trauma that happens or think about those kids because essentially then those kids become orphans because who's going to take care of them? Now they have to go through group homes. Now they have to. So when we think about this project 2025, it's such a snowball effect because even though you feel like it may only affect a certain demographic or a certain gender or this small marginalized group of people, it's a snowball effect. It becomes an avalanche because those at the bottom are going to experience whatever. It starts at the top and then it just trickles on down. So we have to, with this, it's crazy with this election. I know we want to make sure that we're voting for what we feel like is best for us, but we also have to think about this country as a whole and the things that they literally are trying. When I hear the words like "Make America Great Again" or "Take us back,"
when has it ever been great?
Right, take us back to what? Because we've only had the right to vote for the last 60 years. You know what I'm saying? Like. Y'all gotta understand, and I've said this, I say this to my kids all the time because we just read a book called Warriors Don't Cry. Now, I don't know if y'all know about that. That's about the Little Rock Nine, the 9 Black kids got integrated into an all-white school. So I always tell these kids, y'all gotta understand that this was not that long ago. Mm-hmm. Like, there are people that's probably right now with their RNC that were a part of segregation, that were on these people are still here.
They're in Congress.
They're still alive because that wasn't that long ago. Prime example, y'all seen a picture with Jerry Jones because he went to the school. So it's a picture with Jerry Jones in the background. Jerry Jones is still alive. Jerry Jones is 80 years old. So what we're seeing, like this stuff is not that far back. And so when it's like, take us back to that. What are you taking us back to? Oppression? Mm-hmm. Segregation? Mm-hmm. But what you taking us back to? Like, what are we doing here? Make America Great?
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jim Crow law is going to effect. Boy, that good government job is gone. I'm uppercutting everybody in like it'll be. Y'all think what is going on right now in the DMV is crazy with all the shootings. It's all hell will break loose for real if they set us back that far, because that's really what it's going to do. It's going to set us back to a time in our generation. I think we just ready to fight at this point.
Yeah, we not. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't going for that. I'm not going.
Yeah, we not. Tell you, I'm not being nobody's slave. I tell you right now.
It's too many of us to be. And the crazy thing is, like, I just feel like in terms of they try, but this is the time where we really need to be banded together. Like, this is the time where Americans need to be coming together and really, like, this is what they're really trying to do. Mm-hmm. Because living through that time period, that wasn't a good time period. Like, I remember the stories that my mother, my grandmother, my aunts and uncles was telling us about segregation and all those different things. And even as a Black woman in America, it's still in this day, we still experience microaggressions and all these different things. So it's like now they looking for a way to basically, they already do it, But it's just like the way the system is set up, it's a subtle thing, but we know what's up. But this sets back everybody, because it ain't just about whether you're a woman. It ain't just about whether you're impoverished. Like, it's not just about that. But people can't get beyond that. They try to pull on certain things that they feel like will grab you. Because they try to look for the empathy and all.
And some of them people who voted for the orange person, that was in a different income level than him, realized how much it affected them. And so they kind of like, well, let me sway a different way. I want y'all to know the version that y'all seen that we had for 4 years, he is still the same person. I don't care what y'all say. He is still the same person. The next one, before I even read it, I'm just say, y'all know we celebrate everyone who believes in everything, whatever your preference is, but they trying to take a shot at y'all because it says make federal government establish marriage between a man and a woman as the ideal natural family structure. Basically, what they want to do is you're not going to be allowed to have the same sex marriages. So that's taking a direct hit, and I don't understand why is that necessary to attack people if it don't even involve you.
So,
like, they attacked our woman's right to choose.
I'm sick of that. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do with this uterus. But I want y'all to really, again, this goes back to me being a history buff. What we are seeing in Project 2025 is that, like, the religious aspect of it has me baffled, befuddled, perplexed. But if you look at the history, and I'm taking it back to when this country was founded and why the colonizers came over here into it, especially those that came over from Great Britain. If you look at it, this is why these people came over here in the first place, because they did not like the religious ruling that they had over in Europe. Y'all look up, first of all, I'm going to tell y'all, please research King James, and the King James Version of the Bible. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just go ahead and research that, okay? So what we see is a lot of them came over here because they didn't like the rules and laws and the religious structure that was basically forced upon them. Look up the history of the Roman Catholic Church. Throw that out there too. Okay. So what we're seeing now is literally they're imposing the same thing that was imposed on them. Because think about it. You came over here. America is supposed to be the land of the free, right? And people are here because they can believe in whoever they want to believe in. They can worship whoever they want to worship. They can go to whatever church, synagogue, castle, wherever they want to go. Now you're talking about making America great again or whatever, and you're stripping people of all of that. You're stripping people of their identities. Like, you are really trying to make people be whatever it is that y'all feel like is the ideal American, and that's just not true. It's not. But because who you marry don't got nothing to do with what I got going on over here.
Don't change my bills, how they get paid
at all. So what you got going on in your household, it don't bother me.
And I will say, like, a lot of same-sex marriages are the majority of people who are doing the adopting currently.
That part.
And if y'all don't believe me, look the numbers up. That is the majority of people that are doing the adopting. And we're going to have to talk about adoption another day, because it's a lot of people who have suffered a lot of trauma through adoption. And please stop adopting kids that you really don't want just for a check. That's all I'm going to say. Please stop. He's going to withdraw federal anti-discrimination protection for transgender students. He's trying to also do a transgender military ban and expel transgender service members. So all the people that are protecting the country, a job that he would not do
at all,
he trying to get them kicked out the military. But
them people ain't bothering nobody.
But y'all know, we already said they're trying to bring them drafts back. So just who y'all think they're gonna try to take first? I just want y'all to think about it.
Yes, and think about it, because the draft rules at one point in time was like, if you were the only son, they would not draft you. However, we know that there's plenty of people out here with multiples, and they have more than one son. So they don't care. If you got 5 sons, they gonna leave the oldest because they look at that as being able to carry on the family name. The other 4, you got registered for the draft, and if we call your number, you got to go.
Yeah, y'all can't be out here like Cassius Clay. That's all I'm saying. They're not gonna let you be out here like Cassius Clay unless you really about that boxing. We kind of touched on it, but you want to reverse the FDA's approval of abortion medication, which deals directly with our women's rights. And people, I want y'all to understand, because we didn't really get a chance to talk about the Roe versus Wade and overturning that decision. But a lot of people, there are some people who selfishly have abortions, and you'd be like, you know what? At some point, you need to deal with your choices, your horrible choices. But then there's some people who are put in situations, whether it's maybe they were raped or by someone in their own family or someone that they don't know. And you do not, I'm not saying that this is every outcome, but imagine your sister, auntie, mom was raped. Then she has to raise this child now. But the child looks just like their abuser.
The trauma.
And so they're inflicting now more trauma on the child because they haven't been able to process and deal with what they went through. So it just becomes a generational thing that just keeps getting passed on. When she could have avoided that if she could have just had the abortion, because some people are not that strong to be able to overcome that type of trauma. I don't wish that on anyone ever. I have met someone who,
yes, I know 2 people
who were raised through that, and it was very tough for them because the child does not have both parents. That's thing 1. 2, eventually they have to learn that one of their parents did something very foul. Mm-hmm. How do you then process and still have compassion for that parent, even though they were never there? They couldn't. You don't want them to be a part of your life because of what they did, and at the same time, that affects your relationship. Because as we've talked about before in the show, the relationship you have with your parents shapes how you deal with that gender. So if it was your dad that did something, if you don't heal from it, work on it, find a way to work through it, you're probably going to have a lot of struggles when it comes to dating, or you're going to unconsciously gravitate towards people who may inflict that same type of trauma upon you. Same thing with the guys and their mom. And I have learned now in dating to ask them questions. What's that relationship with your mom?
That mother-son dynamic tells a whole lot.
Yes. And I want you to understand, just even if someone has a good relationship with their mom, it can be good and unhealthy. Because if you're still being coddled at 30-something years old by your mom as a it can get real deep with that. That's we just gonna leave it there before we go too far left.
Chat. That's a very but also with the reversing of Roe versus Wade, there are women who have medical emergencies. Ectopic pregnancy. You cannot carry that pregnancy to term because that child is sitting in your fallopian tube. So a lot of times they have to be terminated, and sometimes they have to go to emergency surgery. Like so, and people may have where they're told like if you carry a baby to term, that it may ultimately kill you. The baby may have some type of disorder. So it's a number of things that go into it. It's not just she got pregnant, show with the baby. Like it's multiple things that go into women and having the right to choose. Even with birth control. Birth control isn't always just something to be used because you don't want to get pregnant. I had an OBGYN, no lie. She told me, because I was on birth control for a long time. I'm not on it no more. I was not on it to not be out here just doing whatever. I ain't that type of girl. So I was on it to help regulate my cycles because they were super, I know this is whatever, but other women will understand. To help regulate my cycles, cramping, all that other stuff. My OBGYN literally told me, she was like, I see women who use birth control for health benefits more often and frequently like I'm supposed to versus someone that's using it just so they won't get pregnant. Mm-hmm. So when y'all hear these things, you hear these narratives that they are trying to create of when it comes to women, that is not the case. And then I also, first of all, if you look at Roe versus Wade, it was a black man that was accused by a white woman. Looked at it. Anyway, just remember that on me. But also, I want y'all to look up statistics too, because a lot of these things are based on statistics for those numbers people. I did this debate in undergrad, and we were talking about abortion. And what I found, now this was 2010. What I found was white women ages 25 to 35 were number one in abortion. Married white women were number two. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the reason why they are reversing this, let's look at the states of this country.
We're looking at where that money comes from.
Let's look at races. Let's look at ethnicity. We see now that there is no the white people, as much as they try to make it seem like they are number one in this majority in this country, they're not. They no longer are. And if you look at the demographics, you have a lot of people that are mixing ethnicity. Okay? Mm-hmm. But see, the thing is, Black women are the only group of women that whoever we give birth to is going to have Black in them. That's the difference. Because the problem is that when I was looking at Patrick Mahomes' kids, right?
Oh, Lord.
Now, y'all seen that boy daddy. That boy daddy is Black, right? But you look at his kids.
No brown Black.
No, for real. Black. Shout out to his daddy. But you look at his kids, they don't look like they have not 1 ounce of Black in them. Even though their daddy is partially Black. So these are the things that they're looking at when they're talking about why they're making these decisions. Because if you look at in these orphanages, there's no white babies to adopt. All the babies are Black or Hispanic, or they're mixed babies. There's that to me, Roe versus Wade is strictly about race and controlling one. Because y'all know, white men always be trying to control that demographic of women. Y'all be saying us as the Black women, we different.
Most of the things are rooted in race. And I don't I don't want anybody to have it in their mind that, oh, I'm not going to vote because my vote don't matter. Whoop-de-whoop.
It matters.
It really does. It does matter. And the only way to make a change is to be a part of the change. So just make sure that you're doing your research on all the candidates. I think one of the favorite people that we probably got on our show is probably Councilman Reese.
Yes. Who I see at the gym from time to time. And he has a new album out, y'all.
Yes, he does have a new album out, and I'm going to touch on the album. I'm probably going to get him back once we get a couple more shows because I did listen to the album. But I do want y'all to understand that your vote is important. Whether you feel like you get the right outcome or not is because you have to keep sharing, keep talking to everyone, not just your family, talk to your friends. Keep talking because there is a change in numbers. So keep talking. One of the other things that is on here is allow states to ban employers from providing health benefits that cover abortion care. Why the government should be involved in what an employer benefits allow is beyond me. But part of it is they've also realized that majority of people having children are us. We're reproducing at a much, much higher rate, especially since the pandemic. But they don't want to be outnumbered.
But it's too late. But the thing about it is it's too late. Because guess what? They are mixing. They are dating different demographics of people. Now I like my chicken fried hog. So the closest thing I'm going to get to white is light skin. I'm sorry. To each his own. But it's too late. We already seen it. Like we already see the reproduction. We've already seen that you have white mixing with Latino, Black, whatever the case may be. Even Black people, Black mixing with Latino. Like, so there's no one pure race anymore because people are dating and loving who they want to love. And when you literally sit up here and try to control someone's body because you feel like your race isn't superior anymore or it isn't what it used to be, like, that's crazy to me. But you still have women who will back this BS. And that's the part that bothers me. So when we talk about
the governor was she on there yesterday? The Republican convention, Governor somebody.
Well, it's some black pastor on the TV right now making me mad. Because, sir.
Huckabee, so it was Huckabee on there, and then it was y'all surgeon that y'all always want to teach us in school, Ben Carson. I'm sick of, first of all, I don't remember what state she is, but Governor Huckabee is like this white.
South Carolina? No, it's not South Carolina.
No, I can't remember what state it is, but she was on there yesterday as a white female. I just don't understand why she would support that man. Anyone who says grabbing by the pussy should not be eligible to run our country. Secondly, anybody who, because they just started letting convicted felons vote, now you're going to let a convicted felon be able to be on the ballot. I don't understand it, but whatever that means, that some people I know could probably put it at this point, because this man was rooted in not having any political background. 1, 2, now he's a convicted felon. 3, now they are changing the laws for him that basically if you commit a crime while you are president, it doesn't matter. Arkansas. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's not a state that I
anything that is
I drove through it and didn't stop. So
those Bible Belt states, y'all know what the Bible Belt states is, right? The South. So the North Carolina, Georgia, I believe, Alabama, Arkansas. Basically, all the ones that were in the Confederate. Because Maryland was too.
And I want y'all to also, especially for my travelers, check and make sure that you're not going to visit a sundown town. Or you're not driving through a sundown town.
Y'all better stay out of Lake Lanier.
That's a whole nother story. First of all, after the movie, then now the boy done survived. And if he was really in that lake and survived, he's about to be like one of them people, X-Men or something. Because ain't no way you went in there.
He must have some black ancestors. But I was like, no, we gotta save this one.
Yeah, I don't know. But I definitely implore everyone to do their research. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That's not my job to tell you who to vote for. But do your research.
Well, y'all know who I'm not voting for, so y'all know who I'm voting for. I don't care.
Yeah, y'all know who I'm voting for. I'm not going to tell you who you should. I'm going to tell you, if you vote against what I voted for, we probably should not be friends. Because at this point, if they win, I'm going to be ready to square up with you. So.
And if you don't vote, I'm going to be mad. Like, I've literally had people like, no, I don't vote because my vote doesn't matter. It does, though. It really does. Because for Biden, if you want to keep it a buck, it was the black women that helped get him in office. Because you still have black men and Latino men. The amount of Latino men that voted for Trump is insane. Look those numbers up.
Insane, considering they were trying to
insane. I was like, wow, I think it was like 30%. That's a large number. 30% is a lot. So,
and I don't know who Fox 5, MSNBC, CNN, or whoever be doing them polls. I don't know who they be talking to, or where they be going to find the people that be voting on them polls, talking about that somebody's in the winning more than other one. Because where
if you look at, okay, so here y'all can look this up too. So I recently read an article, this was a few months ago, and they were talking about where Black people live in this country. If you look this up, I don't even remember what the article was. If you look this up, you will notice that the states that are red are the Midwestern states and usually the more southern states that were in the Confederate. But research is, so that makes sense why they're red. But research has shown that Black people, we live on the coast. We're all up at, like, it was crazy. Like, they showed like these dots, this big old map. We are literally on the coast. We are by water.
We're trying to escape.
When you look
that
at,
was literally where I was going to next.
When you look at the demographics, like that map was crazy. I was looking at it like, we're all up and down the coast, all down California, all on the eastern sea, but we're all near water. We are not. It's not a lot of us in like Kentucky and this food. I'm sorry, y'all. CNN is on TV screen, and your boy Suge Knight just came with his ear patch on. So it's giving Suge Knight in the calm Vegas. But Colonel.
But as she was saying that we're all on the coastline.
We are.
And I was going to say, not even just my family, just people in general. We literally was talking like, if he had won the last time, that we were going to see how we can get a citizenship somewhere else in another country, because enough is enough.
I've been on that side of TikTok, and actually I had a cousin who we talk all the time on Instagram, and he was saying how he went to Europe, and he lived in Europe I think for like 3 months because he's on Broadway and stuff. And he was like, I had no stomach issues, like I was fine, like the food was great. He was like, I come back to America and I start eating and my stomach is in shambles. And now this other lady was saying how she moved from, I think she was in Cali, and she moved to Europe. And she was just talking about how the cost of living is so much cheaper. She was like, I eat out almost every day, but I'm not paying as much. She was like, I feel so much better. Like, I don't eat and I'm not having all these digestive issues and all this other stuff. Y'all really need to, like, America is really killing us. Like, y'all need to look up the foods that are banned in other countries compared to us. Like, Frito-Lay and all of them, their chips, ingredients and stuff are different compared to what they make in America. Like, that's why you don't have high cancer rates in these other countries, because they're not just putting anything in our food.
They're not making us sick, because if they make us sick, who benefits from it?
There's a documentary on Netflix that talks about that. You should watch it.
My bonus parents, my bonus mom is from Barbados, and that's where we plan to. Well, I'm one of the people who plan to go and visit. Not this summer, but next summer, just to see how it is to live somewhere outside of America. Because at this point, they just want us to. They're trying to turn us into a third world country. Like, we are so close.
We already are. We just got Roosevelt.
Hello. Like, if we was the ghetto, like if they had to do the countries in a ghetto order, like we kind of moving up in the ranks at this point. We're moving up in the ranks, and I'm not a fan.
I've had enough.
I've had enough, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of feel that, like, if the orange person don't win, that Russia finna be on some bullshit. I just feel like it was something that was promised to your boy, because he been steady. He been steady with his war, and the fact that we just keep, helping the other side of that war, and homeboy finna be on some, yeah. I don't know how long he can stay in his position, but Putin been in that position for a minute, holding it down. He been like them Congress people, holding it down.
So I ain't wishing death on nobody, but I just feel like whoever gets in office is not going to make it the awful year. I don't.
And it's hard because while I do know a lot of people who want to see Kamala the Chameleon in there, if anything happens to Joe, but a lot of people, then there's the other side where a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in her. And so, I don't know. While it will break history, it may break the country.
Yeah, I don't. And I think people don't have faith in her because she's a woman, but on top of that, she's a Black woman too. But this might sound a little shady, but what I really am starting to realize, and this might just be just because I put myself back out there in the dating world and I'm kind of ready to like retreat. Is that men are truly more emotional than women are.
10 times more, whether they realize it or not.
And I think that's what it is. They have not realized that, because when I think about like why people didn't vote for Hillary, oh, she's a woman, she's gonna go for her emotions, and blah, blah, blah. But when you look at things that some of these men in Congress, even some of the things that have came out the orange character's face, like it's emotional. Like you went straight off emotion because y'all straight going for how people look. Like he always insults how people look. Why? Because usually when they don't have anything else to insult, when they can't insult your intelligence, they go for how you look. So I just really feel like with Kamala, I'm not saying that Kamala would make a good president. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't see much of her, but we didn't see much of Joe either during Obama's presidency.
Exactly. That's
we didn't see much of Pence, but Pence was shitting bricks when they thought them people was coming to get his ass.
Man.
But I'm just saying though, y'all Don't want no female president, but I'm trying to tell y'all, men, y'all a little bit more emotional than we are. Y'all don't want to admit it, but
that's the only reason I call any vice president the chameleon. It just happens to rhyme with her name, Kamala. Kamala, the chameleon. So, just because I feel like the vice president kind of be invisible, they be doing their stuff behind the scenes. I mean, as they should. It's not like they're in charge or nothing. But, again, please vote. You can register to vote today, tomorrow. If you need help filling out the form. If you need help filling out the form, this is the only time I'm going to offer to help fill out anybody's form.
If you go to the DMV website, you should be able to register online.
Online. And please show up. If you want to get an absentee ballot, I don't think that it's too late to get one. You just have to look up for your state. As I said, I will tag the 3 states
bring back
for the 3 local ones. I am going to have tagged for all the platforms. Please. I don't beg for nothing else.
Y'all, please. Like, I really
if you need a ride, baby, I got you.
This square on this ear is freaking me out. Why do you still have this on there? Anyway, y'all, please vote. Like, I really want y'all, and I'm so glad Taraji said something, because you know what Malcolm X said: if you want to keep something from a nigga, put it in the book. So I'm so glad that she actually said what she said on the BET Awards. I don't know why niggas looked at that. But
I'm gonna be honest, I struggled, and I still haven't seen the whole thing. But I saw a lot of clips from when it was time for her to talk, and she really had a whole sound. Like she did have glow, like just swinging in the air while she was talking.
But yeah, like y'all really look at the severity of what we're saying in this country right now. Like, we're not really big on politics, but at the end of the day, what we're saying is the lesser of 2 evils. And
he done already showed us who he is.
I was about to say, and when you looking at the supporters of this man, you kind of already see like what it is. Y'all already know what making America great looks like to them. Like, and then if y'all looking at just some of the stuff that's happened recently, like having Amber Rose and the whole attempted assassination thing, I want y'all to really think about how they really look at Black people in this country, because they really think that all of us are into nothing but rap music, and that we only relate to him because he's a felon, or we can relate to him because he got shot at. I want y'all to think about what they really think we are in this country.
And it's okay if you at one point voted for one party and then now you change your mind. It's okay, because I want you to understand there was some rappers that was supporting him at first. For example, you had people like YG. YG done changed over the fence. He made a whole song that said "Fuck Donald Trump."
So, but I want people to really take the time to really decipher this, because watching the antics and like the most iconic photo was him standing holding his fist up after they attempted to assassinate him. No. But
who's gonna do that after they almost got clipped out here? I just want y'all to know that, because in the hood, if somebody is shooting, we is not gonna stand up like I survived.
No, we running. Okay, the last time I
even if we know that a person got, we still was like, no, is there another one? Like, what, is it safe yet?
Right. And I want y'all to think about, this man came out with shoes and thought that he was going to get the Black vote because he came out with shoes. So I want y'all to really about how we as African Americans are viewed in this country. And he is not the first person from this particular party who has said things to him. You go, what? Like they really think that all of us, and ain't nothing wrong with being from the hood, but they think all of us in the hood, they think all of us is uneducated, they think all of us are on Section 8, they think all of us are out here just popping out baby after baby after baby. This is what they think of Black America. This is what they think of us. This is why they're like, oh, well, the people will understand because he's been shot at. I've never been shot at, ever. Do I know people that's been shot at? Yes. Am I taking that away from nobody? No. But that's not going to make me want to be like, oh, he was shot at. I got to rock for him. Like, I want y'all to really.
I know. Really, if somebody was shooting at you, that makes me look at you sideways now, because why do people want?
Yeah, because why people want to kill you? Like, why people want to take you out? Like that.
And then the fact that y'all made it that it was another white person that tried to take you out.
And here's the thing.
Thank God that they were. This is gonna sound messed up, but it did not need to be a Black person.
But I want y'all to see the irony in this. Now, the Democratic Party has been fighting for gun control. That is what they have been fighting for. Nobody is saying that you shouldn't have the right to bear arms. I'm cool with that. But why do you need an AK-47 in there? Why do you need an Uzi? Like, what? Who you shooting at? What you shooting at when you need that? I'm not opposed to people being licensed to carry. That's cool.
Why you got ops like that?
Right. But the same laws that they were opposing was the same laws that almost took this man out. Mm-hmm. So, like, we have to really think about these things, and we have to really look at the bigger picture, because honestly, for real, this project 2025, it go beyond just you. It go beyond us.
Because you know what I'm saying? If he gets in office the same way he did with the tax laws, that were, as y'all see, it didn't go into effect until he was out. And it's still affecting people, and everybody think it has to do with Biden. It has nothing to do with him. So imagine if he gets in again and he starts changing all these laws to set us back. They're not going to go into full effect. Some things will, slowly, but guarantee you, he's going to make it seem like it's on whatever president follows.
That man, and y'all can look this up, signed over 100 executive orders. So he was just putting things in place and signing things.
He people in place too.
And people. He didn't care about nothing else. Think about, I want y'all to look at this. That man is a terrible businessman. Think about all the business that he had collapsed. Now I get people like, oh, he's trying to run America like a business. But he's not a smart businessman.
He filed bankruptcy multiple times.
He is what we call it's like rich poor. You know what I'm saying? So he does certain things where it's like you look rich. Like, prime example, why y'all think he buried that ex-wife on that golf course? Because it's a tax write-off.
Did y'all know that he doesn't have full ownership of half the hotels that he has his name on?
Most of those hotels were just using his name. See, people don't want to look this stuff up. Like, this is the stuff that you really, truly have to pay attention to. Now, did I know all the Bidens, whatever, before we met him through Obama? No, I didn't. But at the same time,
if Obama trusted him, though, that's all I'm saying.
Right. You know what I'm saying? For the black man to trust the white man.
Hello? Because he had some options.
I'm saying. So I want y'all to, like, really look at this. And I think some people, they don't want to really look at the deeper level. Like, to think about, like, even with education, they're trying to, like, privatize everything. They're trying to get rid of the Department of Education. So that puts somebody like me, who's an educator, that puts me at risk. Because it's like, so now I'm going to be forced to work in a private school, or I have to teach a certain curriculum. I have to, and it's bad enough as an educator. I'm already told what I have to do. Now, do I always do it? No, because at the end of the day, I'm going to always keep it 100 with my students. My kids know that I'm going to always keep it a buck with y'all. But to sit there and they're banning all these different books, so they're going to create curriculums that go along with these banned books. Mm-hmm. Meaning they don't want y'all kids to know that we had slaves. They don't want y'all kids to know the racism that was in this country 60 years ago. They don't want these kids to know that. Why? Because great Meemaw and great Pawpaw was standing out there ready to lynch niggas. That's why they don't want y'all to know that. Like, so it's so many things that fall in place with just making these little different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, your kids, public education is free. Yeah, tax dollars, people, but they're trying to privatize everything. Y'all, some of y'all can't afford to send y'all kids to private school. Listen, I got friends with kids in private school. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DCPS, because we do make a decent amount of coins. Some of us, like, we really make some good money. So yes, some people are able to send their kids to private school, but a lot of y'all really can't.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't dishing out $2,400 a month in tuition and stuff like that. And this is what they're trying to do. So if they privatize education, they take out Head Start, they take out free. I'm already pissed that some kids always got paid for lunch any damn way. When you got prisoners that get 3 free meals a day. Don't get me on my stuff. But they're trying to take all these things out. Who does that affect?
Head Start already has stipulations when it comes to. I thought it was just PG County, but it's across. I know for sure for the state of Maryland that if your household makes over a certain amount, they are not eligible to go to like pre-K.
Yes. Matter of fact, I had somebody that just told me that his kids are older now, but he was saying like when he wanted to put his son in Head Start because he was saying how his son was more advanced for his age than the other kids. So, you know, him and his wife at the time was like, all right, we're gonna apply. But he made too much money. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't let his son go to Head Start. And he was like, I wanted my son to Head Start because he was bored as shit in daycare. Yep. So he made him go to that. So he had to go to daycare because you make too much money to go to Head Start. So even with the Medicare thing, I want y'all to think about this too, because at one point in time, my salary was so terrible that I was considered impoverished. So I had medical care and all that through the state.
That Obamacare was lit. I want y'all to know that.
I had Obamacare.
Lit.
Okay, now I could have got food stamps and all that, but I didn't. I'm not the type of person. I'm not gonna take something that I don't need. Like, I live at home with my parents, so I ain't need that. But the point that I'm trying to make is there are people who really, really need that. There are people out here who are not making $70,000, $80,000 a year, because at this point, 45, 50 ain't shit in this economy. Shit, 80 ain't shit either. But you know what I'm saying? But you got people that's not making that much, so they need them food stamps. They need those things to survive. So when we think about this election year, at this point, some of y'all gonna have to be a little selfless and really think about other people as a whole. And I know a lot of times we can man, the country don't give it with it. But I want you to think about your people. Think about your friends. Think about your family. Like, I know with the Medicaid, like, I know my father will be affected. I know I will have family members that are going to be affected by that. This privatization of education and this, I'm going to be affected as an educator. So I know that my other education friends, like people are going to be affected. So we have to think outside of ourselves when we think about this election. I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, please. I'm not. This is the only time y'all gonna hear me beg, okay? Is please take it serious. Do your research. Vote for whoever you feel
has your best interest.
Has your the things that are on your checklist and your priorities. That you feel that they're really going to work on that, and understand that even if you feel like, well, I voted for this president and it didn't come down that, like we said, Congress be blocking a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of people was mad because they said, oh, Obama didn't get a lot of things Congress because Congress was in the way. Congress was in the way. So if you really do your research, and I know a lot of us, if you was like me, history and government, we was not. I know the 3 branches. Don't do that to me. I know the 3 branches.
Subject, and I love teaching it. So.
I know it's a lot of people who are just frustrated and feeling depleted, or like it doesn't matter. It does matter. Vote in this next general election. Make sure for your local elections that you're doing your research. I do feel like while there were a lot of posters up during the other elections, it was not a lot. I feel like it should be treated the same way.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever city, county, the people that are running should have some type of debate, and it should be posters or it should be televised, because a lot of us just aren't aware of who the candidates are, what they're about. And I saw a lot of people that was mad that Angela won, that Angela also Brooks won. And so, I mean, half of y'all didn't even know that she was running PG County.
I was like, I didn't even know who it was the vote for, to be honest.
But she's not nobody. Her name is not nobody new. She's been around. So it's like, I do feel like it should be, because it is important and just as important as voting for the president, it should be televised and promoted more. But we also have to do our due diligence and making it a priority that we're aware of what's going on in our city, state, county, and for the country, because it will affect all of us. We are going to wrap it up with, of course, we always give our word or wisdom of the week. And I'm going to let Phyllis go first this time.
So I'm just going to say, as we continue to go forth with 2024, I think we have to take some time to really reflect. And I said because the state of the country is very, very different. And I know, we try to shy away from politics, but as someone who works with kids, who's very patient about my kids, I know the kids get on my nerves, but I love each and all my kids that I dearly. So I think that what I'm gonna leave y'all with is sit back and really take time to reflect on that time when you have actually been selfish. Because I think a lot of times we don't really think, some of us, I can't speak for myself because I'm a very selfless person, but some of us don't think about others when we do certain things. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish, because you have every right to, and you need that. You need that. But I want you to think about, because we talk more so like about Project 2025, I want you guys to really think about the snowball effect. And think about, as you're reading and researching and looking, thinking about other people. For one time, step outside of yourselves. Step outside of yourselves and really look at what's going on around you. And when I say what's going on around, think about your friends, your family, your kids, your nieces, Think about how the vote that you cast and how much that will really affect not just you, but everybody else around you. Because you know that when we do things as humans, depending on what it is, what we do affects not just us, but the people closest to us. So for a moment, I want you guys to be selfless and really think about somebody else. And always remember to live fearless. That's all I have.
Oh, I always set myself up because I'm going to follow that. I would say I implore everyone to just make deeper connections with the people around you. A lot of people shy away from, due to past experiences will shy away from opening up and being vulnerable. But this is a time where I feel like we all need a village, no matter how old you are, what you're going through. We all need a village. We go through things, whether it's at work, family, personal. We go through things, and keeping it to ourselves is not healthy. I'm not saying that you should be dumping it on your best friend, or you have one person that you call when you're going through things, because all of us go through things. And so we do have to be mindful of that, especially when we're, calling on our friends, because they may be going through something and you called them, and you may be the feather on the elephant's back to just break it. But definitely work on making deeper connections and being vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I'm not just saying this for females. I just go for my fellas too, because we want y'all to open up more, build a community. I know y'all be friends quicker than most females, and I understand, and y'all got y'all little secret language or whatever. But a lot of y'all don't be digging deep with y'all friendships. It's surface level. And on the episode when Damo was here, he said definitely learn to make sure you hold your friends accountable. So just learn to listen more, be present, make deeper connections, so we can all keep growing together, spreading love, peace, and positivity, and definitely make sure that you keep your mental health intact. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all next time.
See y'all later.